The Browns have decided to trade Joe Flacco to Cincinnati. We're going to talk about all of it in a Browns Film Breakdown emergency pod. So tie your shoes, tighten your belts. Let's talk about it. Presented by FanDuel Sportsbook. Here we go. What's up and welcome in, everybody. Browns Film Breakdown, quick hitter. We're not going to probably say that cautiously. We got guys who like to talk here. Peter and Brad join me. The Browns have decided to trade Joe Flacco to Cincinnati, of all places. The Bengals, who are dealing with Jake Browning's, I don't know, maybe he's selling the season for them. It's been so bad compared to his first run a couple years ago. They are desperate. They were looking for veterans. We thought maybe the Kirk Cousins, Russell Wilsons, even Jameis Winston's of the world made plenty of sense to them. They go and make a trade for Joe Flacco. I think it caught everybody by surprise, largely for me, because Joe Flacco is somebody I never thought somebody would trade for. But here we are, and I go to you guys. Let's do some immediate reaction. Brad, you're up first. Your thoughts when you saw the news?
Shocked. I was actually very shocked. Not that it means a whole lot for the Browns or anything. It's just shocking that they would do it, the trade with the Bengals. First ever trade in history between the two teams.
Without a failed fax machine, right?
Yeah. The malfunctioning fax machine was the first try, but that did not go through. And yeah.
Thanks, Sashi.
So
yeah, saved him.
Well done, Sashi. I guess the next steps for me that make sense. I mean, I would be totally shocked if. I mean, I saw some people writing about Bailey Zappi being coming up and being named the backup. That would shock me. This feels like Shador being named your backup quarterback for me.
Yeah, Peter, thoughts?
Happy to take a high 5th round pick from the Bengals, and I wish Joe Flacco all of the best in what I can only be described as the football version of sending him to the beaches of Normandy. Because that offensive line in Cincinnati is one of the few in the league that you can say with confidence is performing worse than the Browns at this point. And I can't see anything that Joe Flacco did with the ghost that he saw for us doing anything to help them. I'm rooting for Joe, I guess, in some way, but I don't understand unless he's playing multiple offensive line positions what he does to help them. And it is very Bengals-esque for them not even to, as Diana Rossini reported, not even call about Jameis or Russell Wilson, who can at least move. We saw the difference of, you can make an argument maybe if Flacco seeing some of those people and getting the run game and protection this last week would have been different for the Vikings, but at least what I saw from Gabriel was he was able to at least provide that dimension that we haven't seen at all from Flacco, who just is like statue now. So I mean, good luck to them. And I have more questions about what it says about the front office and the coaching staff's job security and some of the stuff you talked about on the pod earlier today. It just sets us up for a season that we're now living in, which I think we thought about earlier this year, heading into the preseason, but like we're living it now. We're going to see Shador this year 100%. So excited to see what the hell happens, but also just very curious about what it means for Deshaun Watson and also potential job security for the coaching staff and the front office.
Okay, a couple notes on the trade. So it is a swap of 6th-round picks. The Browns are actually sending the 6th-round pick from the Zadarius Smith trade, if you recall. So They traded him with a 7th for a 5th in the 25 draft and a 6th in the 26 draft. So that now goes, which is going to obviously be a significantly worse pick than the Browns. They had two options. They have the Juwan Briggs Jets 6th-round pick trade they just did earlier this year. So that could have gone. They ended up shipping the worst projected of their two because the Lions will obviously be significantly better. That goes to Cincinnati. They get back Cincinnati's, as I understand it, Cincinnati's 5th, which is current trajectory, should be a decent 5th-round pick. So just wanted to update you on that. The Browns now have their own picks in the first 5 rounds. They have the 1st-round pick from Jacksonville, which is so annoying, can I say, real quick. Just these guys pulling games out. Look at the rest of their schedule. Barring some sort of goofiness, they're probably going to win quite a few games. Then they have the 5th-round pick for the Kenny Pickett trade. They have the 5th-round pick now from Cincinnati for the Flacco trade, 6th-round pick for Briggs, like I mentioned, and they still have the 7th-round pick from Seattle too. So there's a lot of late round capital. You start to pair that up with maybe that Jags 23rd to 28th pick. I don't know where their spot's going to be. You can start to envision what a bigger trade looks like for acquiring a spot higher in the draft, maybe, or maybe they don't need to do that. Who knows? We'll see. But the trade is interesting. I had a thought come to my head. Has there ever been a week one starter traded this quickly in a season?
Can I
that's an
entertain
interesting
you?
thing.
Charlie Fry.
Yep.
Okay. When was Charlie Fry traded? Was he also traded to a
Week
division
2.
rival?
Week 2.
Wow.
He was
that's
traded
amazing.
after he started
Yeah.
week 1 and was traded immediately after the game. I believe.
To Seattle.
They're like,
Yeah.
we're done with him. Good call
Yeah.
out, guys. Nice work. Have to imagine you guys saw a tweet, because if you had that in the back of your head, did someone post that? Because like,
No, that was
No.
in
That's
the,
impressive.
I just remembered.
Yeah,
Because he went to Akron,
Oh.
right?
yeah. That's
Smart.
just
You
the
guys are smarter
sadness
than me.
of
that's crazy.
our brains.
So we can just pull that out. Well done by you guys. I would say, yeah, my theory on this is if trading Joe Flacco is moving you off your priors of where the Browns season was headed, I think that's just emotional. Like, I think that if you look at this, we all talked before the season, this looks like a chance to see if Flacco can get the job done for a while. And we're probably pointing at something like week 7 Dolphins, where he turns the job over to whoever is we probably said this before camp, before it even became crystallized that Dylan was going to get a chance before Shador. So this is a nothing burger to me. It's really not. I mean, you also have, I understand people who want to be like, this is your experienced quarterback and this is the guy in the room who can help those guys. Has Joe Flacco ever been one of those vets that you really leaned on to help? He's outwardly said that's not something he likes to do. Not that he's not willing to help and talk, but that's just not, I don't see Joe Flacco sticking around until 9 p.m. in the building, like watching film and breaking things down with rookies. Like, that's just not the MO. And I just would say, on top of obvious stuff here, like, I like getting something for Flacco. I mean, I was stunned. That's the biggest thing. I didn't think anybody would ever make a move. I thought it was more possible they'd waive him and then he would get picked up by somebody than moved. And obviously getting into the 5th round in a far better selection than your 6th round, while on the surface is nothing. It's nice to get something. I kind of made it equivalent to like getting $6 from GameStop to go in and trade in your Madden 23 and you get some store credit for it. It's very similar, but it's not nothing. It's not nothing, but I also just am like, hey man, they turned the job over to these young guys. This was the thought we all had before the year when we looked at this first 6 weeks of games, when we removed and I understand when you get in it's easy to sit there before a season and say, hey, they're not going to be good and they're going to probably lose a lot of games. And we're looking at and then you get in the trenches of those games and you watch how the losses happen and it can really drive you crazy. That's the part of the NFL that's the trick. It's like you're not invested in early and then you're all of a sudden in it and it's the biggest thing in the world on Mondays and Tuesdays. So I get that. I understand that. But I think we're on track for where some of this stuff we thought would be. They just lost a couple coin flip games. There were 3 coin flip games and they won one of the 3. That's it. So this is a Dylan Gabriel starting job. You mentioned it, Peter, with Shador getting a chance by the end of the year. I mean, the goal would be that Dylan's so good he never relinquishes it. That would be the goal. But yeah. I do think that you have to put the probability on it. And I'm going to ask you guys now, like, where are you at probability-wise that Shador plays? Is he the second quarterback? Is Bailey Zappi the second quarterback? I'm interested. That's going to be the storyline this week. Peter, what do you think?
I think they are still helping Shador out as much as possible, despite what every Shador person who likes to talk about him, fan, stan, acolyte says. I think they are still protecting him and helping him develop. Gabriel clearly has more play now readiness from playing 1,000 college games. And you saw him do things that were comparable enough in the offense. Again, you really can't put that loss fully on Dylan Gabriel this last week. And I thought he was providing at least 85% of what Joe Flacco was doing and probably more in certain elements of his escapability and his decisiveness. Flacco was kind of holding on to the ball a little bit more and just an absolute statue. And you're right. It's up to Gabriel to go ball out. And if he's middling and they're 1-8, then they'll probably just make the move because they'll be forced to from either the front office or ownership to see Shador, which I actually don't even think is the wrong decision coming up from on high there. So yeah, and I don't also mind Zappy being ready because he's a quarterback who has played in the NFL, and I don't think that is any reflection of the fact that we're now more like if you're a Shador stan, this is a great day for you. The only question is, how does Deshaun Watson figure into all of this? Maybe.
Yeah,
shaking his head. There we go.
So I don't think Watson is ready physically yet. I guess he could be later in the year. The only way I envision Watson playing is if it's like week 17 or something like that. It's one of those scenarios where it's like a throwaway. I can't imagine them trying to play him again after the owner has called him, called it what did he call it? A
Sunk
mistake,
cost, essentially, right?
a disaster,
They
whatever.
got to dig out of the hole of that trade is essentially how he framed it.
Right. So, me and you had this conversation, Jake, about whether this is the interesting part. Me and you had the conversation about whether they would go back to Flacco if Gabriel was bad. Remember?
I do. I'm going to go ahead and say no at this point. That won't happen.
Yeah, that's a good call. It's a good bet. But at the time, I was saying they would go to Shador. You were saying they would go to Flacco. We were kind of
This probably tells the story, right?
You started saying my name, which I kind of know you were kind of getting upset. He does the
Brad.
Brad. Yeah. So
I don't know Brad.
So I got you a little flustered there. You were upset about it. You thought I was wrong because basically that you had the feelings that they had no faith in Shador. This will.
So let me ask you this: Does this prove that, or does the Bengals called and said, "Hey, we'll give you a good pick"?
Yeah, I don't think it proves that my point. That's not why I was bringing it up. I was more bringing it up of like this will really show us if they elevated Zappy into this role over Flacco.
Right.
That's insanity to me. Like Zappy is not he's terrible. He's awful. Like I don't want him. I don't want to watch Zappy play. Nobody wants to watch Zappy play.
Yeah, nightmares of him throwing an interception to Michael Pierce, the 350-pound defensive tackle for the Ravens.
He's just so bad. He was just not. He's just not worth the time.
But he is the only quarterback on the roster who's thrown for 300 yards at Huntington.
Oh my God.
So
there
we go.
So I think it has to be Shador into the backup role at this point.
People will be irate, Brad, if it's not. I think
I will be upset if it's not, because to me it's a waste of you're wasting time then at that point.
Yeah. Let me ask you guys this question on the way out. Lightning round. Got to be quick answers. January 4th, Cleveland Browns hop on a plane, take a short flight down to Cincinnati. Who's starting at quarterback for both teams? Brad, you are up first.
Shador Sanders.
Both teams. Who's starting for the Bengals? That's the question. Is like, does Joe Flacco? Yeah, does Joe Flacco last? Right? Because there couldn't be a worse place for Joe to land, in my opinion. Yeah, he's got T. Higgins and Jamar. That's nice. There can be some YOLO balls up the sideline, maybe some quick hitting slants, but like, this is the offensive line that he can't. Like, this is bad. They've been awful, and watching him shy away from any contact and make decisions that are just rancid off of the idea that he's going to get hit and the offensive line is bad. Like, if this were him getting traded to LA or San Francisco or someplace with a line that was playing really well, this is like, oh, I see it. I can understand it. This is not it. And that's why I'm quite curious about, people are worried about it. It's like, hey man, they don't see the Bengals again until January 4th. Like, if Joe's starting at quarterback, then that would be a pretty big upset. But I want Peter's prediction on the record too, who he thinks is starting at both places.
Shador and Brett Rippon.
Yeah, you're Googling the depth chart. I love that.
Good
They're
call.
going down the line. I love it. I will go. I'll go. Dylan's still starting. He's gonna run with this, or at least get maybe a second chance. They go back to him, maybe something like that. And Yeah, it's going to be Browning. I cannot see Flacco being out there week 18 this year. I just cannot with the team they're putting around him. So, all right, that's quick analysis. That's Joe Flacco to the Bengals. We will be closely monitoring the outcome of both sides.
For those about to die, we salute you.
Joe, all the best, man. Literally all the best. We are hoping you return to your family at the end of the season. That's the goal.
In one piece.
Yeah. In one piece, not Lieutenant Dan. All right, that's it. Browns Film Breakdown. Come join us if you have not done so, or tell somebody you know about Browns Film Breakdown. If you're on YouTube, smash like, subscribe. If you're on the podcast version, we would appreciate you subscribing to the podcast, leaving us 5 stars, written review. That's always very much appreciated. Thanks for being here, guys. Appreciate you much. Thanks to our presenting sponsor, Monfredi Dental and FanDuel Sportsbook. We'll check in with you soon. Till later. Go Browns.